Hello and welcome to my EDEXCEL GCSE Maths Foundation Paper 3 predicted paper for this summer. Before we begin, some general information. Firstly, I'd highly recommend that you download and try doing this paper before watching the walkthrough. I've put a link in the description so you can download it to try first. The paper perfectly covers the advanced topic list material released by AQA in February 2022. All of the questions are original and created by myself, so you won't find these questions in any other paper. And finally, there's no guarantee that questions will be asked exactly in this way, but this is excellent practice for your summer exams. To write a percentage as a fraction, you simply write it over 100. So we have 47%, so it's 47 over 100. You may want to check if it simplifies, but this one doesn't. We need to write down the factors of 20. So we'll start with 1, which you times by 20 to get 20. 2 times 10 makes 20. 3 doesn't go into 20, so we'll skip that. And then 4 times 5 makes 20. And we're done. So the factors in order are 1, 2, 4, 5, 10 and 20. For question 3, you just want to use your calculator. So type in square root of 92.16 and then you'll get 9.6 as the answer. For question 4, notice all of the sides are the same length. The angles are clearly not 90 degrees, so that makes this shape a rhombus. Since we have a calculator for this question, I would type 2 divided by 3 into the calculator. This will give you 0.6 recurring. We can then do this for each of the fractions to find the one that's not the same. If you do 20 divided by 30, that is 0.6 recurring. 12 divided by 18, that's also 0.6 recurring. 4 over 6, that is 0.6 recurring, but when you get to 12 over 15, you'll get 0.8. So that's the one that doesn't match, so that's the one that's not equivalent. For part B of this question, we're going to divide by the bottom number and times by the top number. So we'll do 138 divided by 3, which gives you 46, and then take that 46 and multiply it by 2, which gets you 92. For this question, we need to use our calculator. First of all, press the fraction button here. Then we want to press 12, and then cubed, and then plus 3.9, and that's squared. Then we press the down button to get to the bottom of the fraction, and we need to press square root 314, and then we can press equals. It says to write down your whole calculator display, so we would get this as the answer. For part A of this question, we're interested in students that did not select football, so that's all of these. If you add them up, then we do 6 add 3 add 2 add 3, and that gets you a total of 14. In the question it said to write it as a fraction of the 25 students, so this would be 14 over 25. For part B of the question, we need to write a percentage. There are 6 students that chose rugby, so as a fraction, that's 6 over 25. To turn this into a percentage, you just times it by 100. If you type this into your calculator, you'll get 24%. For part A of this question, we're looking for the probability the number is less than 5. When you roll a dice, there are 6 possibilities, and the ones that are less than 5 are 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's 4 numbers out of a total 6 numbers, so the probability is 4 over 6. We just need to work out where this lands on the probability scale. Since the scale is divided into 6 sections, the first one is 1 over 6, then it's 2 over 6, then it's 3 over 6, which of course equals 1/2, and then it's 4 over 6, so the cross would go here. For part B, we want the probability the dice lands on a number 3. Well, there's only one 3 on a dice, and there are 6 numbers altogether, so it's 1 over 6. We need to find the number of edges. An edge is a line that joins 2 faces together. So we're going to draw them onto the diagram. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9. So there are 9 edges altogether. Now we need to find the number of vertices. Vertices are the corners of a shape. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there are 6 vertices. To start this question, we're going to find out how to get from one term to the next. In all of the cases here, it's plus 11. So to get the fifth term, we'll just take the fourth term and then add 11 to it. So 39 add 11 gives you 50. If we need to explain how we did this, I would say we add 11 to the fourth term. To work out the 10th term, we're going to continue the sequence. You may be tempted to try and double the fifth term, so 2 times 50 to give you 100, but that's incorrect. So the fifth term was 50. To get the next term, we just add 11, and then the next add 11 again, and then again, and then again, and then add 11 one more time, and you'll get the 10th term as 105. Joe is doing 42 colour copies at 12p per sheet. So if we do 42 times 12, we find out this would cost 504 pence. He's also doing 27 black and white copies at 5 pence per sheet. So 27 times 5 gets you 135 pence. If we add both of these totals together, we'll get the answer 639, but the question said give your answer in pounds. So we'll do 639 pence divided by 100, which gets you £6.39. In this question, we need to work out the probability that Sash does not win the game. To do this, you do 1 take away the probability that Sash does win the game, and that was 17 over 30. To make this a bit easier, we can change the 1 to 30 over 30, and then leave the rest of the question as it was. And to subtract these, you just subtract the numerators. So 30 take away 17 gives you 13, so it's 13 over 30. For this question, we're going to estimate. To do this, we'll round both of the numbers to one significant figure. The 3,789 on the top would round to 4,000, and on the bottom the 0.19 would round to 0.2. You can now type this into your calculator and you'll get the answer 20,000. For this question, Alina has 12 square metres of patio, which costs £79 per square metre. So we'll do 12 times 79, which gets you a cost of £948. We also know that the rest of the garden will be lawn, and that costs £29 per square metre. In the question, we're told the garden size is 25 square metres, and she's already used 12 square metres for patio. Since the rest will be lawn, we can do 25 take away 12, which gets you 13. This means there will be 13 square metres of lawn. So now we can do 13 times 29, which gets you £377. If we now add together the cost of the patio to the cost of the lawn, we'll get the final answer, which is £1,325. To start this question, we'll work out the area of triangle A. So to do the area of A, you do 1/2 times the base, which I'm going to say is the 10, times the perpendicular height, which is 12. If you work this out, you'll do 1/2 times 10, which is 5, and then 5 times 12, which gets you 60. So the area of A is 60 centimetres squared. In the question, we're told that the area of B is 3 times the area of A, so the area of B must be 3 times 60, which gets you 180. Now imagine we were trying to work out the area of B in the normal way. So area of B equals 1/2 times the base, which is 20, times the height, which we don't know, so we'd call it h. Now we know the area of B, it must be 180. On the right hand side of this equation, 1/2 times 20 is 10, and 10 times h is just 10h. So we now have an equation we can solve. If you divide both sides by 10, on the left 180 divided by 10, that's 18, and 10h divided by 10 is just h. So we've now found the height is 18. To start this question, you need to measure the distance between the two towns. If you take a ruler, you should notice that the distance is 7 centimetres. The scale for the map is 1 centimetre represents 2.5 kilometres. So all we do is take that 7 centimetres and times it by 2.5. This will give you the answer 17.5 kilometres. To find the bearing of Brixton from Deeford, you need to place your protractor at Deeford, like this. Make sure the 0 is aligned with north. We're going to use the outside scale to work out this angle. If you look at the outside scale, you can see the line crosses here, so the angle is at 60 degrees. This would be a bearing of 060, remembering to give your bearing as 3 figures. To find the value of x, I'm going to draw on these two lines here. You should notice now that x is vertically opposite to the 52, therefore it is also 52. To find the value of y, I'm going to draw some more lines, like this. This tells us that y is also 47. When you have a Z shape like this, we say the angles are alternate angles. So the reason we would give is alternate angles are equal. To find the median test score, we should write out the scores in order first, like this. We can then cross off pairs of numbers from the ends, like this, until we get to the middle. This time we get two middle numbers, 60 and 62, so we find out what's exactly in the middle of those, which is 61. To find the range, you do the biggest take away the smallest. The biggest test score was 91, and the smallest test score was 50, so 91 take 50 is 41. We now need to compare the scores. We'll compare the medians first. So the boys' median was 61, and the girls' median was 66. This means the girls had a higher median. This tells us that the girls did better on the test, on average. Now we'll look at the ranges. The boys' range was 41, and the girls' range was 48. So the girls had a higher range. This tells us the girls' scores were more spread out, or you could say the girls' scores were less consistent. To expand this bracket, we'll first of all do t times 5, which gets you 5t, and then t times negative t, which gets you negative t squared. In order to factorise this quadratic, we look at the last term, 20. We need to write down all of the factor pairs of 20, which are 1 in 20, 2 in 10, and 4 in 5. We then need to find the one pair that adds up to 9, and that's the bottom one, 4 and 5. This tells us the brackets are x plus 4 and x plus 5. If bus A arrives every 12 minutes, we should write down the multiples of 12. And bus B arrives every 16 minutes, so we'll write down the multiples of 16. If you look along both lists and find the first number that appears in both lists, you'll see that's 48. This tells us that every 48 minutes, both buses will arrive together. Since they arrive together at 10:30 am, we can do 10:30 am add 48 minutes to find the next time will be at 11:18 am. In this question, we know that ABC is an isosceles triangle and that AB and AC are the same. This means the angle in the bottom right here is the same as the one in the bottom left, so it's also 4x. You should know the angles in a triangle add up to 180, so if we add all of these, 4x, add 4x, add 36, this should add to make 180. We now have an equation to solve, so if we add the two 4x's together, that gets you 8x, and then we've got plus 36 equals 180. To solve this, take 36 from both sides. On the left, the 36's will cancel, so you've just got 8x, and on the right, 180 take 36 is 144. Now divide both sides by 8. On the left, 8x divided by 8 gives you x, and on the right, 144 divided by 8 gives you 18. So the answer is x equals 18 degrees. For this question, we need to draw a frequency polygon. To do this, we need to know the midpoint of each of the groups. So the first group goes from 10 to 20 minutes, so the midpoint of that one is 15. The next group's midpoint is 25, then 35, 45, and 55. We now plot these midpoints with the frequencies. So we're going to plot 15 minutes with a frequency of 7. That goes here. 25 minutes with a frequency of 20. 35 and 41. 45 with 19. And finally 55 with 13. Once you've done this, you join up all of your points with straight lines to complete your frequency polygon. For this question, we need to find the value of v. We're given a formula, v equals u plus at, so we're going to write this out again, but substitute in the values. So v equals u, which we're told is 7, plus a, which we're told is 9.8, times t, which we're told is 15. If you type this into your calculator, you'll get the answer 154. For the next part, we need to make t the subject, so we'll write the formula out. First of all, take away u from both sides. On the left-hand side, this would be v take away u, and on the right-hand side, the u's would cancel, so you're just left with at. Then divide both sides by a, so on the left you've got v take away u, and then you divide that by a, and on the right the a's cancel, so you're just left with t. T is now the subject because it's on its own, so t equals v minus u over a. In this question, Martin eats 60% of a chocolate bar, and that chocolate bar has a mass of 350 grams. So if we do 350 times 0.6, we get 210 grams, which represents the amount that Martin actually ate. We need to find out how many grams of sugar Martin ate though. If you look at the information we're given, you can see there are 56 grams of sugar per 100 grams. This means that 56% of the bar is sugar. So if Martin ate 210 grams, 56% of this would be sugar. So we'll do 210 times 0.56, which gets you 117.6 grams. In this question, we're told that 35% of the counters are green. So if we do 800 times 0.35, we find out that there are 280 green counters. We're also told there are 26 blue counters and 800 counters in the bag in total. So if we do the 800 total counters, take away the 280 green counters, and take away the 26 blue counters, we find out there are 494 red counters. We're told in the question the ratio of red counters to blue counters is k to 1. So the red counters, there are 494 of those, and the blue counters, there are 26 of those. We need to write this in the form k to 1. To get from 26 to 1, you divide by 26, so do 494 divided by 26, and you'll find that k is 19. So the answer is 19. In this question, we're looking at the population in 2009 and 2019. We know the population in 2019, that's 576,000, but we need to work out the population back in 2009. Imagine the population in 2009 represents 100%. It says in the question to get from 2009 to 2019, we add 20%. So the amount in 2019 would represent 120%. If 576,000 is the same as 120%, we can divide both sides of this by 120. That would give 4,800 equals 1%, and then times both sides by 100, which would give 480,000 equals 100%. Since the amount we were after was equal to 100%, we found it. The answer is 480,000. For this question, we need to work out average speed, so we'll use the formula speed equals distance divided by time. The distance is 180 miles, we're told that in the question. The time is a little bit harder though. We can see that Keane leaves at 9:30 and arrives at 12:42. The difference between these gives us the time, which is 3 hours and 12 minutes. But we can't use 3 hours and 12 minutes in our calculation. The answer needs to be in miles per hour, so we need to write this time in hours. There are 60 minutes in 1 hour, so 12 minutes represents 12 out of 60 minutes. If you type this into your calculator, you'll get 0.2. So 12 minutes represent 0.2 of 1 hour, so we can rewrite this as 3.2 hours. We can now do the calculation, so it's distance divided by time. The distance is 180, divide by the time 3.2, and this will give you a speed of 56.25 miles per hour. For this question, we want to calculate the percentage decrease in temperature from Wednesday to Thursday. The temperature on Wednesday was 26, and the temperature on Thursday was 20. We'll use the formula change divided by original times 100. So the change is 26 take away 20. The original amount is Wednesday's temperature, which was 26, and then we times by 100. 26 take away 20 is just 6, so we have 6 over 26 times 100. The question asks us to write the answer to one decimal place, so if you type this into your calculator and round it, you'll get 23.1%. We're going to find the area of a trapezium, so we'll need the formula area equals 1/2 a plus bh. A and b represent the parallel sides, so we can see those, they're 20 and 25. So we can write the formula again, area equals 1/2 20 plus 25 times the height. If we draw on the height, and then move this line across, we can create a right-angled triangle. If you now look at the bottom line CD, which is 25, and the top line AB, which is 20, the difference between these two lines must represent the base of the triangle. This means the base of the triangle is 5 centimeters, since 25 take away 20 is 5. We now have a right-angled triangle where we know 2 of the sides. We can find the missing side using Pythagoras. So if we label the triangle like this, A, B, and the hypotenuse C, we can then do a squared plus 5 squared is 13 squared, which gives a squared is 13 squared minus 5 squared, which gives a squared is equal to 169 minus 25, So a squared equals 144, and then a is the square root of 144, which gives you 12. So the height of this trapezium is 12. We can now substitute this into our formula, and if you type all of this into your calculator, you'll get 270 centimeters squared. Thank you for watching this video, I hope you found it useful. I've put some rough grade boundaries here so you can see how well you've done, but remember we won't know the real grade boundaries until after the papers are done. Also check out what I think you should watch next, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.